Sponsored by FNB in association with our partners.
We are in Krugersdorp with Cindy and Loiso, who's about to find out that with the FNB app, there's no excuses.
Honey, let's go. We need to book flights for our getaway.
Skawara, love. We can book and pay for flights and car hire securely on the FNB app. Plus, we get bonus slow lounge visits to relax before our flights.
No. I forgot my card. We can't pay for this.
Skawara. I can scan to pay using FNB Pay on the FNB app.
Does the FNB app help you get life insurance?
Yeah, that and more in the palm of my hand.
Skawara. Take a leap with help. Switch to FNB, where one simple change makes a big difference.
Welcome to the I'm an Entrepreneur Summit, proudly brought to you by FNB in association with Renault and ShopRite. My name is Ganga Buntsweng and I am your host. Here at I'm an Entrepreneur, we're all about helping you build and grow your business. Today, we're talking marketing your product. As entrepreneurs, we're really creative, we'll have solid ideas, we'll have a solid product, we'll even know that consumers need that particular product. However, the very big question is, how do you get the consumer to know that they need your product? How will they find your product? How will they even find out what makes your product even better? Join in as we chat to a whole lot of marketing and branding specialists, as well as entrepreneurs who have walked this road of taking their business to the world. If you're watching the summit via YouTube or Facebook, then engage with us in the comment section. If you're watching via our data-free stream, send a WhatsApp message to 078-350-0768. We're also on Twitter at IAAESA, and the hashtag, and the only hashtag that matters, is IAAE Summit. First up, we chat to Inga Kubeka, who is the founder of Inga Luxury Brands.
My name is Inga Kubeka. My business is called Inga Atelier. We design and produce luxury leather goods. I started this business because I wanted South Africa to have the luxury brand that they can be proud of. We've seen the Italians and the French, they all have their own luxury brands that are dominating the space and the world. And I started this business so that South Africa and the continent can actually have a luxury leather goods brand that we can all be proud of. Quite frankly, I never knew that I'll be an entrepreneur, but when I look back, I had some signs of entrepreneurship in me. For instance, in school, I used to sell stuff, sweets and all of that kind of stuff to other students. So I think it's always been in me. It's just that I didn't know it at the time. But fast forward, I never saw myself doing anything else but what I do. I've always seen myself as someone who's going to run their own label or their own brand. So it's always been in me actually since varsity. So I knew very well after uni that I do not want to work for anybody. My dream is to start my own brand. I just didn't know what brand I wanted to start, because what I studied is, it's quite vast. You can be a furniture designer, you can be an interior designer, you can be a fashion designer. So I was not sure which direction to take at the time. The key considerations when you have a product and trying to identify a market is, number one, you need to design for the market, like positioning the product for the market. So in my case, I believe that I can't just design something cool that doesn't have a market or that is not retail viable. So it's very important to design things that are retail viable. There's also another factor that comes to play. If someone purchases a bag, the chances are that client will only purchase the bag once in a while, meaning probably once in, let's just say in 2 years or 3 years. So the reason why it's like that, the nature of the people who buy bags are people who collect bags or they love bags. So meaning that they have all the other luxury bags, your Louis Vuittons, your Chanels and whatever, and they wanted like an Inga Atelier as part of their collection. So that means that they need to shop other bags because they've already bought ours, and they will come back again like in a few years later. So that's what we encountered in the country. The rate of a returning customer was very long. You know, not unless someone is looking for a gift to buy a friend or whatever the case like that. But other than that, like the return rate, the returning customer rate was very long. That's what we found. As a result, we needed to look into the other markets, you know, like bigger markets. That's why we looked at the US market. The biggest challenge is, for instance, operating in the US. First of all, we're not a priority, you know. You must remember there's designers in the US who are as good as we are, who are also black, you know. So the angle that we took, you know, like it was the black excellence, you know, which is quite big in the US right now. It's a big conversation, like, you know, people rocking black-owned brands and all of that. Now, the biggest challenge for me in terms of marketing, people want to meet this designer, you know, and I can't exactly travel much, you know, like to some of the events that are taking place inside because I need to manage the production at my factory, you know. I need to manage the quality, you know. I need to be a bit involved in that side of things. So that's been one of the biggest challenge. And and another challenge is it's a bit tricky as an African brand, you know, coming from South Africa to the US and saying that, please wear this, I'm from Africa or South Africa, this is good quality, because the Americans also know quality. They produce quality, they've got quality. If you look at the likes of Coach, if you look at a few brands that they have in the US, you know, like they understand quality. So it's a bit tricky in that regard, but it's a growing thing, you know, we're getting there. Quite frankly, marketing is a very tricky thing, you know, yet the most important thing. If people don't know about your beautiful products or your beautiful brand, it's just as dead, because your product needs to get to the hands of the people, one way or the other. Now, the biggest thing is online, which is, you know, made things easier for us as entrepreneurs to actually market the products. For instance, if you do like Instagram promotion, you know, let's just say you boost a post for 1,000 rands, the conversion rate is not so bad, you know, like in that regard. We've learned that with us, you know, like in the US as well, which is, we use that quite often as well. I think digital marketing is definitely the way to go. I think your traditional billboards, your, you know, traditional magazine marketing and all of that, I think it has ran its course and its time. I don't think it no longer works, because people live, you know, like online right now. But it needs to be done right at the same time. It's a big conversation, and that's where the direction is, but it needs to be done right. Another good way that we are exploring right now, we're doing like collaborations with some influencers, like co-design a bag like with an influencer, and we share like the profit margins, you know, like of the actual item. There, what's very important is that the influencer needs to resonate with your brand. They need to be compatible and relatable with your brand. You can find an influencer with 1 million followers, but out of that 1 million followers, what is the true buying power of that following, you know, which is a very important thing. So it's things that you know we have to look at. So even influencer marketing, if it's done right, you know, like with a right, you know, influencer, you know, I think it's a very good platform and a good way to market. A good example of what worked actually. If you look at what Batu did with Somizi, that was a fantastic collaboration. That definitely changed everything for Batu, because the market was resonating with the brand, and the brand was resonating with the influencer, and the influencer has the right buying power, you know, like to influence, you know, like their following to actually purchase a Batu shoe. So it's just an example. So those are some of the important things that I think are becoming big right now. The future of Inga Atelier, it looks very good. Like I said, you know, we're penetrating the international market at the moment, and as part of our strategy. So in the next 5 years, we want to roll out a plan, you know, to go far east, you know, in Japan in particular, and yeah, we want to sort of like penetrate that market. I mean, They have a lot of young millionaires who are big on luxury, who've got great appetite when it comes to luxury. So we need to get in there, as soon as possible into that market, because they've got the money, and they're young and, they're hype, so it's the right space to be in. If you look, for instance, at Paul Smith, they only have one shop in London, but they have about 3, in Japan alone. Louis Vuitton, same thing. They only have like a few in Paris, but they have like 4 in Japan. So it shows you that there's a big appetite for luxury, and it's actually a very good space to get into, using the angle of African luxury. Because we as Africans, we often mistaken of products that are badly finished, they don't look good, that are roughly made and all of that. But we don't have like products that are considered luxury by the world, So it's about time that we design and make products that compete on a global scale with all the other luxury brands on quality, on values, on good brand, on good story, on everything that the other luxury brands compete on. And it's about time we as Africans get into that market and compete on all those aspects.
After the break, we speak to the business doctor Kitumetse Lekaba. Stay tuned.
We are in Bulukwane, where Karabo and Temba are discussing low-cost ways to run your business. Mzansi, Mamela.
The way we do business has changed, eh? And so must we.
Oh, yeah.
Did you change your business bank?
Hey,
Wena?
sisters, I finally switched to FNB's first business zero.
And?
I now get more than the zero monthly account fee. I get unlimited Mahala card swipes, free business coaching with Fundaba, with FNB app, NgesiZulu, and in 4 other languages.
And a free FNB Connect SIM that is already loaded with more data, SMS, and business call time.
More, kanjani.
Molo, umhlobo wami. With FNB's first business zero.
Oh, yes.
Get more low for your business. Switch to FNB, where one simple change makes a big difference. Brother,
So this is the car.
Turn left.
I don't need that.
Dad, turn left.
So, let's go shopping. Come on.
The best way to enjoy a mushroom is just to eat a mushroom. I've been growing mushrooms on this farm for 21 years now. We started supplying checkers. We were very excited about it. We are still very excited because it allowed us to have access to more than 364 stores. And that allows us to deliver a lot more volume. It enabled us to grow to where we are today. We currently supply more than 16,000 first-grade pallets of mushrooms. When we are operating fully, we have a staff complement of about 175, which is permanent jobs. And 52% would be women. Some of them have been here for more than 20 years. A lot of people eat with their eyes, so they have to look nice, even though it doesn't correspond to the taste. They always taste nice. But our mushrooms look better because we control better.
Welcome back. You're watching the I'm an Entrepreneur Summit. Up next, she's always ready to make sure that your business is in tip-top healthy shape. I'm talking about our resident business doctor, Kitumetse Lekaba. What marketing and branding tips do you have in store for us today?
Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome to another segment with myself, the business doctor, Kitumetse Lekaba, MD at I'm an Entrepreneur. Marketing your product and services. We're going to look at 3 elements to help you market your product and services. The first one, your customer segments. Who are your customers? The second one we're going to look at, how do you reach your customers? What channels are you using to market your product or service to your customers? And lastly, your customer relationships. Now that you've marketed your product and services to these customers, how do you retain and maintain them to come back and buy from you? So let's start at the top. Who are your customers? What is your customer segments? How have you identified your customers? If you are selling a specific product or service, how do you know that these are the people that are going to buy? Once again, research, research, research. Know what your customer looks like. How do they relate to the environments? Where are they geographically located? With the geography, do you have resources to reach all your customers? Once you know the who, then you go into the how. What channels do you use to speak to your customers? What language or what medium do they understand? Is the digital marketing what works for you? Do pamphlets work for you? Is it print medias that your customers understand? So once you know the who, you have to know the how. How do I reach my customers to market your product or services? And once you've reached your customers, how do you retain and maintain them? What relationships do they expect from you? What post-product service do they expect from you? And are you giving them the expectation? With that said, entrepreneurs always ask, do I need a budget for marketing? Absolutely. You have to put a little bit of budget and spend. And often, I know in accounting terms, marketing is often seen as an expense, but you have to see it as an investment in your company to get the customers that you want to be able to increase your sales. Once you've spent, you also need to be able to measure whether or not that spend is working for you. So once you've found your channel of reaching your customers, invest in the channel that works best for you. If pamphlets are what work, invest in the pamphlets. If social media marketing is what works, invest in social media marketing. If you are high-end and need to do print media in a special magazine, invest in that. And you won't know all of this if you don't research, research, research. Once again, good luck in marketing your products and services, and remember, speak to the customer that you have segmented for your specific product and service. Don't do a spray and pray approach and hoping someone catches a job. Speak to the specific market. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Kitumeti. Is there anything that you picked up from the Business Doctor today? Engage with us on YouTube or Facebook in the comment section, or you can send us a WhatsApp message 078-350-0768. Up next, entrepreneurship news from here and around the world.
Let's take a look at the latest news impacting your business, making headlines this month. Eskom announced and hit South Africa with stage 6 load shedding at the end of June, and homes and businesses can regularly expect up to 6 hours of no electricity per day. The impact on the economy is undoubtedly staggering, with small businesses taking the greatest hit. Our IAAE entrepreneurs shared some valuable strategies on how small businesses can cope with load shedding. 1. Know your schedule. Knowing your schedule helps you plan for your business operations accordingly, including operating hours and staffing needs. 2. Mitigate risks. Plan for risks such as potential stock spoiling, lack of security, and surge protection. 3. Backup power. Invest in the right type of backup power for your business, such as generators, battery power backup, or UPS or solar systems. 4. Alternative operations. Ever considered opening for longer when you do have power to make up for the lost hours? How about investing in a shared office space with backup power where some critical functions of your business can continue operations? Or how about partnering with the business next door to invest in backup power to reduce capital outlay? Load shedding is a strain on any business, but the reality is it's here to stay, and we need to plan and find solutions to better survive it by minimizing its impact. Be prepared. Renault has introduced the new Triber Express to the South African market. The new panel van is based on the design of the Renault Triber SUV, but adds entrepreneurial and commercial practicality by turning the living area into a 1,500-litre cargo area. Access to the 542-kilogram payload that's protected by steel mesh is through the rear doors or tailgate boot. Talk about style meeting functionality. Head down to your local Renault dealership to test drive a van that could change your business. The Shoprite Group has launched Shoprite Next Capital, a business division dedicated to capacitate and grow commercially viable SMMEs to further the group's efforts to give small suppliers access to its consumer market. Maud Mudise, General Manager for Enterprise and Supplier Development at the Shoprite Group, said, "With Shoprite Next Capital, our aim is to further enhance the participation of small and emerging suppliers in our business. Our focus will be on their specific needs and how best we can assist them. She added that the group aims to build sustainable relationships to develop, capacitate, sustain, and grow small South African businesses, create jobs, and increase the localization of goods. Shoprite Next Capital will operate as a one-stop shop for SMME partners by providing marketing opportunities, working capital assistance, packaging and labeling support, data sharing, product range, and geographic expansion, as well as possible private label partnerships. Modise added that the group has always partnered with small suppliers, but now they are giving them additional focus and allocating dedicated buyers, essentially creating a separate value chain to the bigger supply chain system.
We truly live in a global village. From Johannesburg to Durban, New York to Lagos, everything is connected, and so is your business. After the break, it's Viewpoint with Jeremy Maggs.
We're with Keegan, who's spreading his changeable knowledge about FNB's Business Hub.
Ever thought of branching out across the country?
I'd like to, but I don't really know how.
With FNB's Business Hub, Mahala, on the FNB app, there are tools on how to grow your business. You can learn business skills with Fundaba that has excellent practical information on most business topics. Or tune into Business Talk for industry news via podcasts, articles, and videos. There's also the Business Toolkit on how to navigate a crisis. You can learn whenever, even while on the move.
How? All this from a bank? How?
On the FNB app.
How?
How way? Switch your business to a bank that helps you level up your business skills. Switch to FNB, where one simple change makes a big difference.
This is where the story begins. It's my daughter's 11th birthday party. She wanted to have a bunch of friends over, so there was lots of pizza. It was epic. Got onto my phone and I Googled corn dogs near me. Nothing showed up. How do I not have corn dogs in Joburg? So I thought, okay, well then it's fine. I'll just make my own. Corn dogs were the #1 favorite of the day. I told my husband, he was like, you could be onto something. So the rest is history. He was like, let's do something about it. I started calling every hour for several days. I was very persistent. We got our meeting set up with the buyer, with a promise, and had a billion questions, which he answered them all. The day that our awesome distributors came to pick up these packets, I couldn't believe they were leaving, and it felt like my children were leaving my house. So they entered stores, and I tell you, for the first week, myself, my husband, my staff, everybody in my family, we were finding every checkers that we could and making sure the temperatures were the correct temperature, checking sure the boxes were stacked okay, watching people buy our product. It was incredibly well received. And today we've got about 38 staff, and we can see what the employment we've given them is doing in the lives of the community. This additional income is helping us expand our business to places we didn't think or know it could get to. So we have an original chicken flavor, a chicken cheese, and a chili cheese, or jalapeno cheese. So we want to cater for everybody, and we do. No one ever has one, ever.
Welcome back. You are watching the I'm an Entrepreneur Summit, proudly brought to you by our sponsors FNB in association with Renault and ShopRite. Up next, it's a feature that's brought to you by our great partners at ShopRite. This is On the Shelf, and it really is exactly that, giving you all the insights and advice that you need about getting your products on the shelf at ShopRite. We chat to GM of Enterprise and Supply Development at ShopRite, Maud Modise, to tell us more.
Hi, I'm Maud Modise from the ShopRite Group, and this is On the Shelf, where we talk about what it takes to get your product retail ready. Today we're speaking to Nonhlanhla Chimandamba from Urban Grown, who supply fresh produce into ShopRite. Noni and Siba are a husband and wife duo who supply fresh produce into ShopRite and now employ over 30 people locally. Hi Noni, please tell me a bit more about your background and where your passion for agriculture started.
At the time working in an FMCG, and I was working in infant nutrition. That is where my passion for food security really came, and what are we actually doing about it in the country. I met Simba, my husband, during that time, and he's got a background also in agriculture, but he's mainly in sports management at the time. But we thought, what can we do in South Africa to bring that in where we can actually contribute to food security? And that's how Urban Grown started.
But why the name Urban Grown? Is there something urban about what you're growing?
Everything is urban about it. Because that's where we were. We were living in the urban areas. That's where we want to actually have our family, which we have now. And we wanted to do our food security, but in the urban areas. We are actually very close proximity to our customers, less than 60 k's away. And come on, this is where we're living. So everything about us is urban, but also the best thing is that our customers, our end users, can have fresh produce that is much closer to them and not coming from way far.
Well, talk about perseverance. I mean, it took you guys 3 years to get listed in ShopRite. Why did it take you so long to get listed?
There's actually a lot that one needs to do to be able to supply ShopRite. I mean, they are the leading...
ShopRite or retail in particular?
Not just ShopRite or retailers, but ShopRite is the #1 retailer, so we needed to make sure we were market ready. During that time, you have to look at your accreditations, you need to look at your food safety. There are a lot of bits and bobs that you have to put together in order for your product to be on the shelf.
So basically, during those 3 years, as you're getting your food safety, your GAP accreditation, your product specification right, and all of that, what alternative route to markets did you guys use?
While you're working on that, you obviously need to actually still supply. So we were supplying hospitality, we're supplying wholesalers and other small customers, because also you need to start getting your foot in, make sure you have consistency during that time. The market, for example, is a great place to start supplying, because our buyers actually walk the market, particularly at Joburg market. So even when you're supplying in the market, make sure your product is already showing the quality, that it's packed well, have your name, have the right labeling, because when the buyers actually do a walk, see your product there, they actually remember your name when you start knocking.
So basically, other than knocking on their doors directly through the portal and going to them directly, there are other avenues in terms of supplying into a market, wholesalers and different industries.
Absolutely. And the industry is wide, people do talk, so make sure that you've got your right foot forward the whole time. And that way, when you do come knocking, they actually might already know your name.
So Nani, because food safety and food regulations in South Africa is such a topical thing, what are the 3 most important things that you need to comply with as a farmer before you even think of supplying into retail? What are those 3 things or 3 tips that you can just give to suppliers?
We need to remember that we are supplying food. Food goes into people's bodies, so accreditation, quality, that is important. First of all, in the farming side, you need to have global GAP. So that is also looking at traceability, how you are farming sustainably, because also with your water use and also any chemicals you use, you should be able to actually trace that. Also then when you work in the pack house, you need to look at your food safety. Right now we have a FSA accreditation, which means we can pack not only whole product, but we can actually chop and pre-pack product. And that for us was a very important thing to work at, because for ShopRite we supply pre-packed spinach and such, and with that you actually need FSA accreditation. With that, you can also be selling better product, sell product that has better margin, because once product is pre-packed, you can actually charge more for it. So all of that is important. Yes, whole product is very important. We also do that, but just make sure that you have your accreditation right before you come knocking, because that is what will set you apart from all the other farmers.
So there's accreditation, there's whole product, and what you can do on top of it, like your value add services that you can provide as a farmer.
And also, obviously, make sure your product is what they're looking for. I might have a very big cabbage, that is great, but that is not the specification that is on the shelf. ShopRite and other retailers have specifications for all their product, because all the farmers who do produce and deliver to them, once it gets to the shelf, it must be a ShopRite and Freshmark ready product.
So your husband Simba mentioned something about a baby cabbage being a baby cabbage, and it might look good from the outside, like, ooh, this baby cabbage looks so good. But if it's not according to product specifications,
exactly.
It could be an issue, you said.
Exactly. For example, it needs to be 80 millimeters. You might actually think, oh my gosh, what is wrong with it being this size? It's still beautiful, it's still tasty,
Fresh.
but it's still fresh, but it's not the specification, because Freshmark, and obviously which is our fresh produce side of ShopRite, when it's on the shelf, they need to make sure that each customer who walks in knows that this is the Freshmark product. And all of them have to be the same. So I can't choose to have one that's 10 centimeters and someone have one that's 8 centimeters, because it all has to be the same quality, the same standard, the same specification.
So tell me, what's next for Urban Grown?
There's so much, but what we're looking at right now, we're supplying mostly pre-packed spinach, but we can do more. With our high care, that was our FSA accreditation, that means we can chop any kind of vegetable. So we can go and have pre-packed pumpkin, pre-packed potatoes, who knows. So product diversification is a big thing. And also we can look into export, because ShopRite, as you know, is in Mozambique and even further up in the continent.
So Nani, just for a last question, what made you not package under Urban Grown and choose the Freshmark route? Is there a better opportunity in there, or was it flexible? Was it a difficult decision for you to make, or were you like, you know what, it's still supplying into retail, it's still meeting my targets, it's still ticking all the boxes? Did you have any difficulty choosing in that?
It is a bit difficult, because you think, why is my name not known? But obviously you have different avenues. When you're doing it in wholesale, in other customers, you can use your brand name. But also, as Urban Grown supplying to ShopRite, I know that my product is going to go to 1 million consumers. So going into ShopRite and making sure I meet their specifications, that's also a major tick.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nani, for being with us here today. We really appreciate your
It's
time,
a pleasure.
and you wish you all the success in the
Thank
future.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maud Modise. Always such valuable insights from our partners at ShopRite. Stick around, because up next, we've got Viewpoint with Jeremy Maggs.
Hello, everybody, and a warm welcome to Viewpoint. It's a program where we try to unpack the secrets and the inspiration behind successful people and share some of those secrets with you so that you can take their learnings and implement them on your vital and valuable business journey. My name's Jeremy Maggs, I'm your host, and our topic today is how to market and brand a business. It's a very important question to answer if you're going to embark on that journey that I have just spoken about, particularly if you are an entrepreneur. It's all very well having the product and the service, but unless you know how to take it to market, you're not going to be particularly successful. It's not only about branding your business, it's also about branding yourself. And in that respect, I want to bring into our discussion today someone who has set herself apart. She is a qualified accountant. She sits on various company boards and is also the founder of a fascinating business. She is the founder and chief executive officer of Levels app. And I want to welcome very warmly to Viewpoint, Bojani Sekhoa. Bojani, a very warm welcome. As I've just mentioned, a qualified chartered accountant. You sit on various company boards, yet you have chosen to go the entrepreneurial route where I thought CAs ruled the world.
Yes, well.
What made you go in this direction? And tell me a little bit about Levels app.
Yeah. So thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you for hosting me. And yeah, I mean, this is a really big deal for me. You're an institution in South African broadcasting.
Sounds like I should be in an institution, but anyway.
So I made sure to wear my very best dress. So yes, I am a chartered accountant by profession and an entrepreneur by trade. Levels app is my baby. It's my software. It's a career guidance platform, right? It's web-based. And basically what we did, we aggregated all the information from all the different universities, all degrees, put them on one platform. TVET colleges, all the qualifications there, put them on one platform. And we assist secondary school learners apply to university, TVET college, and for bursaries. So that's Levels app in a nutshell, what it does, and you know, who it serves.
So that's the great elevator pitch. Now let's dig deeply now. What sparked the idea? There's always, I've learnt in talking to entrepreneurs, there's that aha moment. What was yours?
So I come from a stock of teachers. My grandparents on both sides are mainly teachers and principals. My mom is a teacher. All of my aunts and uncles on both sides were teachers. So I'm an educator at heart. I lectured and pro bono, secondary school learners, accounting and mathematics right through university. And I realized that most students didn't know what to study and where to study. And that was a really compelling issue for me. And I thought, one should actually find a way to aggregate that information and ultimately, democratize access to higher education. So that was the genesis of it. That's what inspired it. Getting from, that to where I am today was quite a journey.
This world of applications is a shark tank. Let's be honest with you. It is competitive. Some survive, some don't. A lot of success is predicated on good marketing. And I want to deviate slightly because a lot of marketing these days in this space is also built on self-marketing, on self-awareness, developing your own personal brand. In your case, is that true? I'm assuming it is. And if so, how did you get that side of the equation right?
Yeah. So certainly it would be true to say that Levels app and Bojane Sekgoa are, almost intertwined, and the two words are used interchangeably and almost mean exactly the same thing. I would say on the Levels app side, we really started organically, with marketing. So definitely word of mouth. We provided the best possible service we could to every single one of our initial clients. And we grew from there. Word of mouth is very powerful.
But it takes you to a point.
Yes.
Yeah. And
yes.
Then you got to ramp it up.
Then you do have to ramp it up. So you'll, use social media, which I use quite extensively. I use LinkedIn. And Facebook, that small little village, it actually has a plethora of, people that are really interested in engaging on that specific platform. So I would say certainly social media, and then pushing yourself, pushing your brand, being out there, having interviews very similar to this, print, media, the works, yeah.
Don't be so modest and self-effacing. Let's talk about this personal brand because it's critical. Did you have to develop your own personal brand profile and start leveraging it from there?
I think we are the generation of the personal brand. I think that speaks to exactly who and what we are as this generation. And to a large extent, being media facing, social media facing specifically, has
always on.
Yeah, always on is actually what created that narrative for our generation. So everybody actually does see themselves as a brand, and being a bit more deliberate and being more intentional about who you present yourself to be, and to what extent you push that is just the next level of that.
It's hard work.
Lots of work, lots of posting, lots of content creation, and being really authentic and deliberate and meaningful in how you speak to the people that listen to you and follow you, and being regular.
So you use the word meaningful, I'll use the word relevant, it's the same thing. How do you maintain that constant stream of relevancy, and also how do you define the tonality that you have to use in that respect?
So I think you decide firstly on what platform you wish to push your brand, as it were. Would it be Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram? Who's your target market? How do you want to, who are you speaking to, and where are your audiences? My audiences are on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And, how I framed that was, I'm a professional, I'm a chartered accountant first, and I'm an educator second, and I'm an entrepreneur. So my messaging is around those three themes. So certainly theming the conversation and being true to yourself. Don't try to be something or someone that you're not. Be authentic, be real. That's what resonates with people.
Branding is also a little shallow at times, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. It's all very well to get the substantive nature of the message across, but it's also about the optics, whether we like it or not. It's the way in which you deport yourself. It's the way in which you dress. It's the way in which you smile. It's the way in which you react to things. Again, talking to other entrepreneurs who are in the smaller space, such as you are, how have you gone about that?
Yeah, you do have to present yourself in a way that is, appealing to your audiences. You have to put your best foot forward, however that might look like. And I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs do that quite successfully. So yes, there is an element of it where it really is visual, but content matters, especially on LinkedIn, so people don't want to speak to or engage with an empty vessel.
So how do you get that side of it right? What do you do every time you are outward facing?
So, keep my messaging constant, keep my messaging around my themes and being authentic, always being true to myself, always being true to who it is that I am, what I represent, and always putting levels up first.
What does being authentic actually mean? It's such a throwaway line these days, isn't it?
I know. Yeah, it is in many ways, but it really just is about being yourself. It's about,
warts and all.
Warts and all. So, I post, sad days and happy days, and that's really what people want to see. They want to see the real side of entrepreneurship, the real challenges, not just the good days. And that's really where the magic is, and that's where the real engagement and where your followers become quite diligent.
It's not a 1950s Elvis musical, is it? I mean, you've got to. You're going to have bad days, aren't you? How important these days is social media engagement for an entrepreneur, and what mistakes have you made?
I would say it would depend on the type of business that you have. So if you're B2C, it's probably more important to have a social media presence, and it's very easy. It's easier to leverage off of that from that perspective. B2B, perhaps not so much. It's more relationships driven. So you'll have your corporate clients or whatever the case might be. But where you are engaging consumers, direct consumers, and those are your customers and clients, you sort of want to be in their face as much as possible.
How do you make a determination about your target audience? How, again, coming back to broad entrepreneurship, often people don't have a good lock on exactly who it is that they're either engaging with, wanting to sell to, wanting to talk to. What have you done in that respect?
That's a very good question. So I think a huge part of entrepreneurship, especially in the early days, is experimentation. You're experimenting with different things, different products, different services. You're on a journey of self-discovery of yourself as an entrepreneur. Therein lies the answer. So even when you are testing the market and testing your audiences and testing your potential clients, there's that experimentation. So B2C, definitely experimentation. The consumer will show you and they will reveal themselves. Your role is to hear that, to tune your ear, to actually hear them when they say, we are the people that are going to buy your product or service.
Or if they're not, understanding when to pivot.
Exactly. So,
and people often don't pivot quickly enough.
Well, I mean, look, experimentation comes with mistakes, so it is trial and error, but that's the whole point. You don't want to miss that point and that learning. It's a part of the journey. You can't miss that. It's a ladder. You can't miss that run.
So aside from the social media side of it, and your entire business is predicated on success in social media, what about other aspects like networking, for instance? How important is that to you?
It's fairly important. For me, first and foremost, will always be word of mouth, right? Because it's organic and it's authentic, and you get direct engagement with your consumer, and you get to hear them, directly from them exactly what it is that they want and need in terms of the services that you provide and the problems that you're solving. Networking on a broader level, yes. So, brand building is dynamic. You really have to throw everything at it. So networking would be a part of it.
Part of brand building and part of developing not only the corporate brand but the personal brand as well is moving from phase to phase.
Right.
It's about growth. Before I ask you, have you started, because of course you have, started thinking about it, when do you start to get bigger in that respect? When do you start to unlock other aspects of that brand? Because you don't want to remain the same size that you are, obviously.
Yes, yeah. So that comes when the company grows, the company evolves. So right now Levels App is a founder-led organization, and the team is substantial for a technology startup, and I mean, the growth has been an incredible journey. It's been, so beautiful, horribly painful, at times, but it's been really just, the journey of a lifetime. So as the company grows, you hire people, your team grows, you grow your different products and services that you offer to consumers, and they actually, they inspire and inform what the brand will look like and how it will evolve.
Where have those pain points been?
I say identifying the customer, so we struggled very hard in the early days to actually hear and listen to our customers and hear them tell us exactly who they are and how much they're willing to pay us for our services.
Were they, I want to get to payment in just a moment. Were you not listening or were they not speaking?
I would say it was a combination of both. It's a nuance, it's a dance. So it was somewhere in the middle, and we had to take a step back and, really just find that balance and that place where we heard them, they heard us, and, we were selling. And it was beautiful.
I know we're talking about marketing today, but I never let an entrepreneurial interview go unless we at least allude to pricing and price points.
Yes.
How have you got that right in your business?
So, it's a tough one because all early stage entrepreneurs think that their idea is God's gift and that they're solving the whole world's problems and that they're entitled to charge whatever magnanimous amount of money they feel is right. But your consumers will tell you how much they're willing to pay. And obviously you'll do your own research, you'll have a more studied approach. You'll speak to professionals in marketing and pricing and sales to understand the different types of pricing strategies. So we certainly did that. We implemented those tools and those techniques in our pricing. Our product is affordable. We charge as little as 100 Rand and up to 1,200 Rand for our services, depending on what it is that you need.
But you've got to keep watching the price points all the time.
Always, always. You're watching the business all the time, I focus more on sales and business development. The rest of the team has their areas of focus. I love sales. I've been selling since I was 10 years old. So that's really what I'm passionate about.
Thank you for inspiring our audience today, and thank you for inspiring me.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. That was Viewpoint. Bojani is such an inspiration, so multi-talented, so multi-skilled, and so many gems to share. We wish you all the best with your entrepreneurial journey. Stick around and let us know what your thoughts are by engaging with us in the comment section on YouTube and Facebook. If you are watching via our data-free stream, then you can engage with us on WhatsApp 078-350-0768. The official hashtag is IAAE Summit.
Vandaag we're in Midrand with the owners of Go Gogos, a changeable business that's keeping Gogos on the move with FNB's speedy on-the-spot payment device. Gogos Go!
It's no secret. Before switching to FNB Business, cash payments were slowing us down.
Now, with FNB's speedy payment device, Go Gogos is on the move, now taking card payments on the spot from even more customers.
It's low cost,
contactless,
and it doesn't need to link to another device. Our customers will be able to get their receipts via SMS or email immediately.
Switch to FNB, where one simple change makes a big difference. Go, go, Gogos, go!
Welcome back. You are still watching the I'm an Entrepreneur Summit, proudly brought to you by FNB. Now, our sponsors always have such valuable insight to share with the entrepreneurs. So on that note, today we are joined by Business Development Head for SME Funding at FNB, Palesa Mabasa.
Hello, entrepreneurs. I am the business doctor, Gitumetsi. Today, I'm joined by Palesa Mabasa from FNB. Always a pleasure to have our guests from FNB. Palesa, tell us what you do at the bank.
Hi, Gitu, and thanks everybody. So I am the Business Development Head for SME Funding. I look after strategy for SMEs and how we can actually assist them in terms of funding needs.
And today we're speaking about marketing your products and services. And a lot of entrepreneurs don't have the expertise to do that. Do you think you can rely on your brand or your service to sell itself as an entrepreneur?
Yes and no. I think, word of mouth is actually quite important. So that is a huge tool in terms of being able to do your marketing. But anybody who is serious about growing their business needs to do the necessary research and come up with a brand for their business, so then they can then decide how they're going to market it to increase sales.
And often when entrepreneurs market their businesses, they often think it's put it on social media, put it on Instagram. What expertise would you say entrepreneurs need, or what do you think they need to do to be able to market right?
So they need a marketing plan. That's the first thing. And just posting on social media, there's an art to it. There's whole social media managers out there nowadays. You can pay a monthly fee. But I also think if you're just starting out, you just decide, my social media plan will be I'm going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday. These are the posts that I'm going to be doing. This is how I'm trying to position my brand. So those are the type of things that an entrepreneur needs to be thinking about when they are marketing, and obviously putting budget aside. Yeah. So you can go and register the business with Google Ads as well. So if anybody's going to be Googling your service or your product, your business can come up. So those are the type of things that they should be considering.
And in these considerations, what things should they be prioritizing?
I think the unique selling point. What is it about your business that's differentiating you from Tuli's Bakery next door if you're also a bakery? Those are the things, and creating that brand loyalty as well. So if you're running a bakery, how's about running a special, 2 for 1, some things like that. So they're small things, but they're so effective.
And they attract customers.
Oh, of course. You like your coffee, don't you?
I do. I love my coffee.
You love your coffee. How many coffees do you buy a week?
Ooh, I can't say that.
And then after, how many do you get a free coffee? So it's the same type of principle.
And let's go back to some of the tools that FNB has to help entrepreneurs. What can FNB do, or what does FNB do to help entrepreneurs from a marketing perspective and in terms of marketing their products and service?
So we've actually got 2 really cool things. Okay. We've got this business hub, and on the hub is Fundaba, which is basically your business mentor that's basically on your app. And it actually has a whole section about marketing and sales. So you can go through that and you can learn the key things in terms of what you need to think about creating your brand, the type of brand, and how to market it. And then on top of that, F&B's got what we call Marketplace on our app under Nav. So Navigate Your Life. Marketplace is where we offer our business clients free advertising, basically. You can list your business there. Anybody who's looking for a business or service. So anybody who's like a plumber, you could be a tutor, you could list yourself put yourself on Marketplace, and anybody who has access to it can then pick up your business.
So, a directory where you can be accessed.
Exactly, and that's real help, right?
Absolutely. And you are in the funding space, right? You probably assess millions of applications a year. When you're assessing these funding applications, and when it comes to marketing your product, what are the things that you look for, specifically on marketing your product? So in the business plan.
I think a winner is somebody who you can see understands the competitors, the market that they're in, and the landscape, basically. So if you are, we'll go back to the coffee shop example. Yeah. How many coffee shops are in a 10-kilometer radius? How many of them are actually a competitor? At what level are you having specialty coffees, or is it just, the simple, just filter blend? So those are the type of things where when you read somebody's business plan, and then you can see that they've actually put into place where they fit with regards to where their competitors are and the comparison. And then you can realize that if somebody's done that, what are the sales that they're projecting, and will be able to fund on the back of that.
And I think you also touched on something that is quite important. Your marketing helps you project your sales. Touch on that a little bit more.
So, if I can get 5 more customers into my store, right, I can then get 5 more coffees that I'm selling, or it could be 10 depending on the customer. Yeah. So I'm going from a situation where I'm generating, let's say, 2,000 Rand a week, and just by attracting more customers in, I can then double that easily, depending on what I'm selling.
The importance of marketing your products and services. Thank you so much, Palisa, for the nuggets and the tools that FNB always gives us. What a pleasure having you here.
It's always a pleasure, Kitu. Thank you very much.
That was Palesa Mabasa from FNB. Thank you so much for that. Up next, one of my favorite features. This is where we go across the country meeting incredible entrepreneurs who are doing really great work. This is where we plug your business. And what is better than putting our people on? Here's word of mouth.
Hi everybody, my name is Tina Dembi. I'm 26 years old. I stay in Randburg. Recently started a skincare product named Tilo Sao. This one is a premium body lotion, but most people use it for hands because it's fitting for the back. So what it does is it removes blemishes on your body, stretch marks, starts spots, and if you lucky enough, you can use it for also your face like I do. I use it for the whole body. So this one is called Tilo Sao, Your Skin, My Care. Started 2022, 5th of May. I believe in myself. I believe in the great things that one can achieve. If you set your mind to it, you'll be able to achieve everything you want to do. I have learned a lot. I've also learned that when you do your business, if you want something to be done, you need to do it yourself. I am Tina, and I'm an entrepreneur.
Hi there, my name is Motlhalefi Asirani Manyapelo, and I'm the founder of Manyapelo Kgwatleng Pty Ltd. Manyapelo Kgwatleng Pty Ltd is a parent company which has various companies under it. It has companies such as Manyapelo Visuals, which focuses on productions and events. Has A Travels, which is a traveling agency and focuses on traveling, and it's in the tourism industry. And I have also Divine Foods, which is a food catering company. So with Manyapelo Kgwatleng Pty Ltd, what makes it great is that it doesn't focus only on one sector or one industry. It contributes to different sectors as it plays a role in different industries in the South African economy. My name is Motlhalefi Asirani Manyapelo, and I am an entrepreneur.
Hi, my name is Mfuneko Gono, Director at MSP Technologies. MSP Technologies is an IT company which was founded in 2016 by a group of Black IT professionals with a vivid and wide exposure in the ICT industry. Our company currently has presence in 3 different provinces in South Africa: Eastern Cape, Gauteng, and Mpumalanga, with plans of expanding across South Africa and the entire African continent. We have recently expanded our services and solutions by adding software development, web development, web hosting, and cloud computing. Our clients benefit from our excellent work ethics, cost-efficient services, and combined technical experience.
A very big shout out to our IAAE entrepreneurs. Keep doing all the amazing work that you do. Now, if you would like to be featured on Word of Mouth next to let us in on what your business does, who knows, you could get a sale or two and get all the support that you need. Make sure to drop us a mail and tell us about your business. info@imanentrepreneur.co.za. Coming up next, Pearls of the Hustle and Bokona for some inspiration.
We're in Brown with Bossman, who'd like to share how one simple change made a big difference in his business.
10 Mallet got 2021. Same hairstyle for the past 20 years. Chief, time to be a changeable. I opened a business call account that's free and it's linked to my main business account.
Business call what?
A business call account separate from my main account that allows my business to start saving and earn interest from as little as 1 minute.
Like me, I use mine to manage my business cash flow properly by transferring money between accounts for free using the FNB app.
Be a changeable.
Save and manage your cash flow with FNB's business call account. Switch to FNB, where one simple change makes a big difference.
Seeing my product in the shop, it makes me want to do more.
I went into the veggie department. There was an old lady pushing a trolley, and she went there, she took the packet of green beans, she looked at it, she says, no, I want 1532. Where is 1532 here? Because I bought it last time. It was so nice. And I was just close to her, and she didn't know that it was my green beans. Then I was so excited about it. She left the other one and go. Really, this is a true story. I've seen it with my real eye. Before I had my own farm, I was a foreman around Hazelview. While I was working at the fresh produce there, we had a shortage of spinach. I took that advantage and went home and started planting out of a backyard. I've started to supply my previous employee. A lot of hard work, yes. I've managed to save some money while I was working there because the money for the spinach that I was selling while I was there, all that money to come and buy a farm. Shop right into Shile Kudu or Keveliona on board because like a supply kanako and each year stoko saga akakam kaso. Over the last 10 years, I've supplied Fresh Mark with over 1 million packets of green beans. We pack only the nice green beans. So all those broken one and the skew one, we give it to the orphanage. They say that the hands that gives is the one that receives a lot of blessing.
Welcome back. You're still watching the I'm an Entrepreneur Summit. Now it's almost time for us to say goodbye, but we'll never do that without a visit to our book corner. We sit down with Dorothy Amoa, who lets us in on some of the books that are on her bedside table.
Hi, my name is Dorothy Adjoa Amoa. I am the proud owner of a boutique marketing and PR agency focused on luxury brands called Nomadic African. So one of the most profound books that I've dealt with, I think, during the COVID period has been Wintering by Catherine May. And I think to sum it up, it basically is about learning to love the cold, learning to love hard times, learning to be able to retreat, and sort of rewind your understanding and your mindset when it comes to anything dramatic. And I think that's what really COVID was for all of us. So finding the good, learning to adapt, learning to step away from the norm and understanding that it's okay. And you know, we all go through winters, but how do you best approach it? How do you best deal with it? And most people, when they think about, you know, difficult times that come along in their life, or as she coins it, winter, our automatic reaction is to almost fight the cause or fight or, you know, restrict the fact that our normal life would have changed or is going to change. And I think one of the beauties is that, you know, the only thing that's constant is really change. And in order to deal with it, we kind of need to flow, just like water. It definitely helped me during, you know, COVID as a point of reference that, you know, the things that are beyond our control are actually okay. It's a normal part of life. But just to go with it. My second book is The God of Small Things by Arahati Roy. It is one of my favorite books. I think it was one of the first introductions into why I love literature. It is one book that I read once a year, generally around Christmas. But it reminds me that your life can really change in a split second. But learning to understand that things will always change. That's the beauty of life, really. I think as an entrepreneur, I have definitely been supported through my love of books, the beauty of, you know, being able to tap into these resources where when I feel a certain type of way or, you know, things aren't going the way that I need them to go, or I actually don't really understand the space and I'm constantly evolving. Entrepreneurship means that, you know, you're constantly learning as well. So what I think I've learned in my love for literature, and especially in this journey of entrepreneurship, is that, you know, it's kind of been my safety net on the times when I am not sure of really what I'm doing, even though, you know, it's years later. I have a vast amount of literature that I can tap into to help support me, to give me knowledge, to help me understand. And that within itself means that I'm constantly innovative in the way that I approach my business. So yeah, I definitely think that, you know, literature has been a great resource when it comes to my entrepreneurship journey.
Dorothy, absolutely love your choice of books. I agree with The God of Small Things, one of the books that also made me fall in love with literature. Thank you so much for sharing. From one inspiration to another, here is Pulse of the Hustle.
So there you are, you've built your product, you're ready to go and market out into the world. Except you have one problem. You don't have any marketing budgets. So what do? Do you not launch your product because you gotta go find this big pile of cash that you can throw into TV, radio, print, and digital? Well, that's not what Aisha Pando did. She drew inspiration from a cockroach.
You've got to be cockroaches. You got to be like a cockroach. They talk about unicorns, like businesses that survive decades. Exactly. So you've got to, and I don't know if you've ever seen a cockroach squeeze into like a tiny space. Yeah. So that's the way that I think marketing should work in the early days. Is you literally are like, how can I insert myself into this mom's group and very innocently just pass a comment and, hey, by the way, I tried this thing. No one needs to know I'm the founder. And we do that to this day. Instead of, no billboards, no, TV ads or whatever. I think, you've got how are these people hearing about the alternatives? How do you make sure that you become that channel? Make use of your own networks as well. So the first actually advertising I did was asking my friends on Facebook to fill in a Google form and then asking them to tell their friends about whatever it is that we were setting up. But those are probably the best ways to market is social media and word of mouth. And it took us 1.5 years from launching to hire our head of marketing, who then kind of brought things under control.
Once again, a highly insightful summit. I hope you learned a lot from all our guests who had so many gems to share. We'd like to hear from you. Engage with us on YouTube or Facebook in the comment section. And if you're watching via our data-free stream, then you can send us a WhatsApp on 078-350-0768. We're also on Twitter at IAAESA with the hashtag IAAE Summit. Please also like our Facebook page, I Am an Entrepreneur, and also follow us on Instagram. A very big thank you to our sponsors, F&B, and our partners, Renault and ShopRite. Until the very next I'm an Entrepreneur Summit, keep building and growing your business. I'm Ganga Monteng. See you next time.
We are in Krugersdorp with Cindy and Loiso, who's about to find out that with the F&B app, there's no excuses.
Honey, let's go. We need to book flights for our getaway.
Skawara, love. We can book and pay for flights and car hire securely on the F&B app. Plus, we get bonus slow lounge visits to relax before our flights.
No. I forgot my card. We can't pay for this.
Skawara. I can scan to pay using F&B Pay on the F&B app.
Does the F&B app help you get life insurance?
Yeah, that and more in the palm of my hand.
Skawara. Take a leap with help. Switch to F&B, where one simple change makes a big difference.
The I'm an Entrepreneur Summit is sponsored by FNB in association with our partners.